What the heck? What's going on? Welcome, everybody. This is the Overly Critical Hyper Analytical Movie Club. Welcome back. I realize this is a late showing. We just wanted to jump on these news tidbits, the Disney release slate for the rest of our lives, it seems like.
Yeah, right.
I'm Wolfie, and I'm with my cohort here,
Hi, it's
Matavius.
Maddie.
Oh yeah, and we're here, and we're coming to you live right now. We just didn't want to wait on for our next episode on our regularly scheduled time of Wednesday evening, um, to talk about all this stuff that they just dropped. Disney dropped a whole bunch of stuff: Disney movies, Marvel movies, Lucasfilm movies, TV shows that Disney owns everything. So pretty much everything you're about to watch for the next few years, they talked about, they dropped. So here we are. Before we get into anything you want to address before we jump into the trailers?
I've not seen any of these trailers, and I know very little except for titles of things.
Nice.
Because I meant to dive deep into it, then I thought it'd be a fun idea to just have me view everything.
Yeah, so he's fresh. We're
So
really getting this is what you come this is what you pay for, folks, is Maddie's reactions. I tried to become abreast with as much as I could just so I didn't sound stupid when I was talking because it happens sometimes. But I'm pretty grateful that Maddie just has yet not been able to see him because we'll get these natural, fresh reactions and the discussion should be pretty good. We're going to run through a bunch of the teasers, trailers, and announcements from Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel. We'll talk about some of the Hulu and FX stuff that's going to come out. And after we do the trailers and stuff, we'll field some questions from members who are watching. Thank you for watching. We got one person so far. That's pretty awesome. No big deal. You can go
nice.
on YouTube if you still want to watch it later. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow. I realize it's a little late in some places, but we're here. We're ready to get it on. So without further ado, we're gonna check out some trailers, baby. We're gonna start with the Marvel stuff, real quick. And what do you say? Let's start with Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I think that's a good kickoff. Let me just go ahead and pause it for a second so I can cue it up proper like. All right, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit, and here we go.
Ooh, look at
Falcon
that
and Winter
cap.
Soldier trailer. This is our first look at this shit.
I
Well,
miss
my
you, Cap.
third or fourth. Okay,
Chris.
I'll stop. I'll stop talking. Let me know
The
if it's too
legacy
low.
of that shield is complicated. The world is upside down. People need something to get behind. They need the symbol. So what's our plan? So no plan. Hey. Great. What's going on in that cyborg brain of yours? You don't want to know. Oh, yeah, I can see it working. Gears turning. Oh, they're malfunctioning. They're on fire. God, I hate you.
All right, baby. What do you say, Maddie? What do you think?
I think you summed it up best when you said this is a TV show.
I know.
Because
Look him up.
it looks like a fucking movie, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, I have no idea what's going to happen. I know Baron Zemo showed up, and I thought
Oh
that I
yeah.
read about that, and I thought that was cool because
Yeah, that'd
I
be cool.
loved him as a villain in Winter
Dan-
Soldier,
Daniel Brühl.
or no, Civil War. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, he's great, Daniel Brühl.
So I'm pretty excited to see what they'll do with him because he's cool in that movie, but I'm glad they kept him alive and they've stopped killing off villains all the time in superhero movies. So yeah, dude, I'm in.
Yeah. It looks
Disney
amazing.
has my money.
I'm a sucker for good flying in films. Even Man of Steel had good flying. Even Superman Returns had really good flying scenes, for what it's worth. And seeing Falcon, spread those wings in just that one shot where they're running out of that like dark cavernous space and you see him just flying as Winter Soldier's running, I was just like, oh man, this, like, it's comic books come to life, it's like, obviously, right? But best time in the world to be a fan of comic books and especially Marvel and DC are kicking. Well, Marvel's really kicking some ass, and I'm not the biggest Avengers guy or anything, but those movies are amazing, and just seeing stuff like this come to life is fan-frickin-tastic, man.
I never thought I'd care about Captain America or Iron Man, but at the end of Endgame, I was just like a little baby in tears. I'm like, I don't even care about these. I love these other characters too. What are they going to go do? So I'm glad that we're getting like these television shows to like expand their universes a little bit, but then you can like throw them in these big tent poles films if you need to, because they've already got this mythology and you can kind of just go, well, all right, that's what they've been doing. You don't really have to explain it because you've watched a season of television.
Right.
So, and it's not like what Marvel was doing with like Gifted or like, I mean, I know a lot of people like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff. It just never landed for me because I want to see heroes. Right. I don't care about normal people because you can, I don't know. That's like every show on TV. Smart people doing cool stuff.
Right? I don't honestly know much about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I watched the one season where Ghost Rider shows up for half of it. And I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm out. I don't know. I like that we're actually getting heroes in shows now instead of like Gifted did have like heroes in it, but it's like Wolverine didn't show up to be like, hey, I'm Wolverine. What's up?
Right. Yeah. And
it's like,
I do appreciate, much like, New Mutants, which we will come and talk about, folks. We'll do an episode on New Mutants at some point. We wanted to get to that for our first. We felt like Sound of Metal was good. I don't need to make any excuses. But it's nice when they kind of like mention those kind of things just to establish what world they're in and what the consequences are. But it's nice to have those subtle hints towards things in certain things and then let that story play out. However, with the MCU, like Kevin Feige he's established this whole thing about interconnected storytelling and stuff and really made it work in a way that isn't just like pulpy serials the way, like back in the day there would be like 90s Zorro movies or something. This way they're making the consequences real, and it's like the movies are the bigger budget spectacle roller coaster, more pivotal, more important stories, and these TV shows will be the stuff that we just want to see. These are the monthly issues that we go and collect, and so it's really amazing to see this stuff turn up and how all these things are going to connect in later movies and everything. So next up, I say we watch us a little bit of Loki.
Yeah, let's do it.
Queued up properly.
Oh, I can't see it.
Oh, right. I have to swap it. That's the sound effect for swapping. All right. You see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Here we go. This is Loki, official trailer for the Disney Plus series.
Get your hands off.
Maddie hasn't seen all the details. We've seen this in the movie, obviously. It's one of my favorite moments from the movie. I just love Loki so much.
Yeah.
You're taking me somewhere to kill me.
No, I'm taking you someplace to talk.
Well, I don't like to talk.
But you do like to lie, which you just did. Because we both know you love to talk.
How long have you been here?
It's hard to say. You know, time passes differently here in the TVA.
What does that mean?
You'll catch up.
Glorious. Brother, Heimdall, you better be ready. Come on. What did you expect?
All right. Let me pause this before it starts playing some crazy shit. So what do you say? What do you think? What do you
I think it looks. I'll say it again. This is a TV show. I mean, everything has like movie production values. It seems like these days, it's insane.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it looks good. I just don't know what it's about, except that he escapes his death basically, and looks like we're going to be in for some wild adventures. I do like the font, how it changes. Like the font is not the same, and I was just like, I'm sure it's going to be really quirky, which will be fun. Hopefully, it'll set it apart from the seriousness of like Winter Soldier and the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I don't know. I hope it'll be cool if Thor shows up and they can just get Chris Hemsworth to pop in every now and again.
Cameo, him with the hammer and peace out. Yeah, it's. I guess from what I read, it's him jumping different dimensions or something with the hypercube, and then that TVA is some organization that's outside of our normal reality. So I'm not too sure exactly what the hell's going on, but it seems like they're making a very distinct effort to differentiate it from the other shows that they have on the slate. And Tom Hiddleston all day. Let's have it. Let's see more Loki, more everything. That guy. So it looks good. It's nice to see Owen Wilson coming in and doing a Marvel thing and looking sharp with his Silver Fox hairstyle that he's got.
I know.
So, more to be revealed on that. I don't know too much about what it's about, but it looks great. And that music, when it first kicks in, that was so cool. I was like, this is going to be wacky. That looks great. I say next up we go for some WandaVision. Probably one of my favorites of this reveal. That is assuming that... Why isn't it listed with these other ones? Bear with me, folks. I guess I could just... That's not it.
Yeah, I've only seen this is like the second trailer, right? I've not seen this one. I've seen the first trailer.
The first trailer was good and still kind of a tease. This one gives you much more to work with. Let me just cue it up proper like. And here we go.
I can't see it.
What's a single gal like you doing rattling around this big house?
Well, I assure you, I'm married to a man, a human one.
Wanda.
What's it and I ran. Why do you sleep out?
We are an unusual couple.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
We just don't know what to expect.
Howdy, neighbors.
Hey, buddy.
Wanda, what's up?
Who are you?
I
don't know.
I think something's wrong here.
Wanda, can you read me? Who's doing this to you?
Are you here to help us? This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Well, I think we handled that well.
Nice. Very intriguing.
Yeah.
Very
I was wondering if they're.
wacky.
Yeah, the whole time when this was coming about, I just wonder if they're going to do some House of M stuff.
Yeah, I fielded that question to a few of the members of the group, and they were saying, Cameron, one of our members, he was saying that they'll probably take, do like
Bits
an
and-
anti-No More Mutants and maybe something as more akin to like No More Humans or No More Other Superheroes or something like that. But there's definitely some tomfoolery going on, and somebody's got maybe control of Wanda, or is, you know, there's some kind of psychological prison that she's in or something. The first episode, apparently, I think just the first episode was filmed in front of a live studio audience and is going to have all this kind of like Dick Van Dyke kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, that's cool. It sounds, I mean, it looks amazing. It's not, I mean, I think it's crazy that now I care about these characters and I need to see if Vision like comes back and, you know, it shows us Stone together and I'm like, oh my God, are they somehow going to pull him back? Cause yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I think
I'm kind
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was, because I know in House of M she's kind of like lost her mind because she like loses her kids or whatever.
Right.
I wonder if she's like her own worst enemy maybe in the show, but other people are manipulating that because she is upset because of her loss. So I don't know. It looks cool.
I love, I mean, same thing with like Paul Bettany too. Like I love watching Paul Bettany, especially as Vision. Like no better, more perfect guy to be cast for Vision.
Yeah.
And it's really good to see him back because he got pretty messed up in those Avengers movies, and
I know.
it'd be nice to have just more screen time and see his abilities and stuff. He was always one of my favorites of the Avengers, my casual fandom of the Avengers. Next up, we're gonna do this sweet little piece right here, a little palette cleanser, some animation. This is Disney Marvel's first animated series, What If. Let me swap over.
Space. Time. Reality. It's more than a linear path. It's a prism of endless possibility.
Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
What?
I was promised an army.
You have a
Nice.
super soldier.
You sure don't seem too freaked out about all this, kid.
Nice.
What you doing out there all by yourself anyway?
Yeah, no.
Exploring the world.
Sounds fun. But why stop at one world when we can show you all of them?
I am the Watcher. I am your guide through these vast new realities. Follow me and dare to face the unknown. And ponder the question. What if?
Give me the tour.
Some more tomfoolery.
I don't know if I'm into the animation style, but I'll watch it.
Really, I quite like it. One of our other members commented, Ben, commented that it looked a little stiff. It looked a little subpar for the ability that Marvel has currently with their studios and all the money that they probably have to produce something. But I like it aesthetically. I do. I'm used to kind of like what anime has been doing
Yeah.
recently and embracing that kind of 3D stuff. So it didn't take me as too, I didn't expect Pixar level animation or anything like that. But I could see how it leaves something to be desired for some people. I'm into it. One thing I wanted to say about WandaVision and what we saw, that like crazy Doctor Strange shit going on in there, is WandaVision ties directly into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, as well as this new Spider-Man film. And I'm not sure if it ties into exactly to What If. What If seems to be just kind of like a what if.
Yeah.
So, but I just wanted to say that so everybody knows that.
And it might just because I mean the multiverse gives you alternate realities, right? So
Right.
the what if could.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure this multiverse thing, the next Ant-Man and Wasp movie is going to be called Quantumania. So you got the quantum realm, you've got multiverse. Like they're really with these kind of movies, and I think it's definitely a smart move financially, because you can pivot on a dime now. Essentially, it's like, well, the fans didn't like that. How about we try this? We're over here doing this now. So it seems like DC is doing this as well with their Flash film. Sorry, good burp. And Marvel, though, they have like this entire foundation already built in to the MCU that they're working with. So right now it's just like they're kicking back. They got autopilot on. They're just watching the galaxy speed by, and they got not a care in the world. So it's ramping up to be some cool stuff. That's a nice little thing, nice little taster. Next up, we have the official trailer and teaser and first look at the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series. Let me
Nice.
switch that over for you. Bing bong. And here we go.
Is this a cartoon or?
Miss Marvel is a new kind of superhero.
Oh,
But
nice.
at the core of all of it, her story is so universal.
Miss Marvel is one of the newer characters in the Marvel comics. And when one comes in that grabs the world's imagination like this, the questions are, when are we going to bring Miss Marvel to the screen?
When Miss Marvel first came out, we had such an incredible reaction.
It was so incredibly popular because everybody could see themselves in her.
I never saw a young teenager of color, specifically a Pakistani, in a comic book. Are you kidding?
You promised you'd be cool.
I am cool. The casting process was vast. When we discovered Iman, we knew that she was Kamala Khan.
It was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I can't comprehend this right now.
And then, of course, we've got a really incredible team of directors. Bilal Fallah, Adel Al-Arabi, Mira Menon, and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. And all of them are taking the material and elevating it.
So human. It's about a teenager figuring out who she is and about relationships. Family and friendship is at the heart of the MCU canon. That's what's so exciting about the story that we're bringing, is that we're going to introduce you to a new family that's also going to be part of the wider MCU.
Nice.
Yeah.
That looks sick. I love the first volume of Miss Marvel.
Of Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
As a brown boy, it delights my heart out, even though I'm not Southeast Asian, Middle Eastern, Pakistani, or, forgive me for not knowing my geography. But as the brown boy, it's nice to see. I love Marvel's drive for diversity and some of the superheroes that have already been established forever. Like Shang-Chi is coming out as well soon, and it's got predominantly Asian cast, Asian crew, and it's the time to shine for these diverse creators and characters. I love me some Cap and Winter Soldier. I love these guys. I love my Caucasian heroes. No problem there. But it's nice to see stuff like this getting this big into the limelight. I think we can thank Black Panther for that. I think we can thank even Thor Ragnarok in some way, and Taika Waititi being behind the camera and just injecting some of these films, taking the first two Thor movies were kind of, standard kind of movies, they were just kind of what you expect of a superhero fare. And then when Thor Ragnarok came around, it was just injected full of flavor, Flava, flavor. And that comes along with diversity, so I'm very happy about it.
Yeah, looks cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. It looks good. It'll be on Disney Plus, so I'll be there. No big deal. Miss Marvel, that one's coming out. Bear with me while I find the next trailer. What else is next on the? What else we got on the Marvel slate? I think we may have watched all the Marvel stuff that is announced. So let's go ahead and jump.
Is
over
it
to
that time?
Lucasfilm slate. Lucasfilm.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so Marvel is fantastic. It's wonderful. I love it. But my heart, my life is Star Wars, and we're gonna start with the Bad Batch here.
I love the Bad Batch. I haven't seen this, but I loved them in Rebels.
They were in the last season of
Clone Wars. Yeah.
All right, let me do my little magic here. And then we're gonna go.
Wow, that was
They
spot
call
on.
themselves the Bad Batch.
The Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
That was quite an impressive display.
Yummy. Nom 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 nom. Looks like another solid Lucasfilm animated series from the team that Filoni. I'm guessing Filoni is pretty involved with it or has a team working on it.
He better be. If
it looks great. It looks
Lucas
like
and Disney are smart.
Like Clone Wars has the foundational aesthetic, and then Rebels built upon that. Things look a little better. In Clone Wars season 5, pushed it even further, a little bit more adult, if you will. And Bad Batch looks like all that tech, all that aesthetic detail and goodness and richness is boosted up to 11, and it looks like we're going to see a little bit grittier, action-packed animated series from these guys. And another one I can't wait for, Disney Plus, is really like, I was only watching Mandalorian on Disney Plus. Lots of good movies, lots of good stuff, but I'd seen them a million times mostly, and seemed like there was only really the Mandalorian to watch. But now, coming next year, we're gonna get all kinds of stuff to watch.
I know. I'm psyched because it's the only reason I've had Disney Plus is for Mandalorian and this promise of all these other cool shows coming. I'm like, give me one more.
If this is the Illuminati's plot to have me isolated in my home for hours on end, then I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to give me more content or I'm going outside.
That's true. Don't make me go outside. Don't make me do it.
I remember watching the last season of Clone Wars and talking to a friend, and he was like, man, I like the Bad Batch, but I feel like we got a lot of ground to cover to end a series. And he was like kind of upset that they're like, oh, cool, let's just add this whole new group of troopers that now we have to get to know to love.
I already lost so many clones that I was in love with, and you're just gonna give me more people to die, more fodder, but it doesn't seem.
I know.
Seems like
but I'm glad they're back. I really enjoyed that cast of characters and oddballs that didn't make the cut as good troopers, but they're badasses because they are. It was a cool take, and after watching the couple of episodes they're in, I was like, man, this would be. I remember thinking it'd be a cool show. I wish there were more episodes of Clone Wars so I could see these guys again, but I needed to get to I needed to see how some things ended. Clone Wars needed to be wrapped up, so I'm glad that they're going to give, we're going to go back to go back to that world and spend a little more time there, because I think there's a lot of stuff, and maybe some of these characters will make it into these new live action shows, which would be cool.
Yeah, I especially like that there seems to be an effort to strike a balance with like not completely focusing on Jedi all the time, which I'm a Jedi at heart. On the census, I register myself as a Jedi religiously, but it's nice to see it's nice to see these other tales, these other aspects of the galaxy getting expressed, and especially the lives of like rejected stormtroopers and the more militaristic aspects of this galaxy, of this universe, is really cool. I mean, it's the wars, this is what we talk about when we talk about the wars, and we're really seeing it in all these different series and stuff like that, because we know that the Jedi will come. The Jedi now is like, okay, you can have a cookie after you've had dinner, and the Bad Batch is a nice, thick T-bone steak with a side of potatoes and green beans, and I may be a little hungry right now, but it's gonna be good. And then of course we're gonna get more Jedi and stuff, and they're gonna save that for nice, sweet. I don't know how they're gonna do it exactly, but what they're doing so far across the board, it seems like the sequel trilogy is vastly behind us. Even at this point, hasn't been very long, but that's how it feels like to me. And however you feel about those movies, not my wars. And I'm starting to feel like these is my wars coming. It feels so rich, the storytelling, and it just feels like Star Wars is back. It feels like there's some fun parts in those movies, but somebody even mentioned in one of our group posts that isn't Star Wars supposed to be stupid and silly? And it's just like,
doesn't have to be.
There's some far-fetched shit in the original movies. There's some goofy jokes and things, but no, man. It's not necessarily supposed to be anything but what it has been prior to the sequel trilogy was great and near to my soul. Or I can gush about it all day, but really, no, man. Star Wars is back. Get ready. Get some clean draws.
I think the newest trilogy it loses the humor and heart of Star Wars, and that's
downers, man.
Yeah, and I mean there are funny characters, but they just don't. Someone was watching. They're like, who do you want to see Grogu meet when he's doing the Jedi stuff? And I was like, I'm down for whoever they want to throw in there, but who I really need back in this mix? Chopper.
All right,
because I mean Chopper's just a fun rebellious droid, and they don't have. I mean, I love the Mandalorian, don't get me wrong, but I think the droids kind of bring the humor. It's like R2-D2 is like, I feel a connection with a fucking robot who doesn't talk.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you ever fuck with R2, I'm gonna hate you.
That's true. You don't.
So, but I thought it'd be funny if they bring in Ezra and he has Chopper with him, and I was like, this would be fucking sick.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is we got Ahsoka and Mandalorian. Glorious was amazing. We'll talk more about that when the season ends. We have planned to kind of do like a season wrap up where we'll talk everything Mandalorian for a full episode and speculate on what's going to happen and blah blah blah. But it's not far fetched to think that Kanan Jarrus. Wait, he's dead.
Yeah, he died.
Damn, that just made myself sad. However, the Obi-Wan series is much earlier, so maybe Kanan turns up there. But Ezra is grown now. Presumably Ezra is grown. We might even see Hera.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Anybody else from the Ghost? It would be amazing to see
Sabine.
Sabine, of course. What's the other dude's name? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's not good.
Where's our comments out, viewers? Yeah.
Carabast, I'm forgetting. Anyway, sorry, my friend.
It's been a while since Rebels has been on, and
I've just been watching it. I'm completely blanking. But I'm getting old, I'm almost 40. So
it's funny. I watch Mandalorian with my roommates, and they're like, "Wait, where's this thing from? What's this from?" I'm like, "Well, so you have to go back to Clone Wars, and then there's Rebels, and then there's." And then they're like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "We could just start watching them now. You guys ready?" And we had it up on our projector downstairs, and I was like, Season 1, Clone Wars, ready? Let's do it. And they're like, no, Maddie, that's too much Star Wars. And I said, I don't know you people.
Yeah, that's a good sell. I think it can be, for the casual Star Wars fan, which is beyond me, the casual Star Wars fan is, it's probably pretty daunting. It's probably a little intimidating to be like, in order to understand what the hell this droid color scheme is from, you have to watch this show over here or that thing over here. But, it's like, when you invest the time into Star Wars, it really starts to give back.
Yeah.
I believe.
I mean, especially when you have someone like Filoni who is us. He is one of us.
Yes.
And he knows what he would want to see. And I think also too, what George Lucas would want to see.
Right. Yeah.
And I think Favreau with everything just knows he's the guy that's like, he's the casual Star Wars fan. So he gets and then
he's more than casual, but I get what you're saying. He's not the Filoni level. Right?
No. I mean, I'm sure he goes to Filoni and goes, "Can I do this?" And Filoni goes, "No, you can't, because of in this movie and in this series, which I wrote, you can't do this." And he's like, "Well, what can I do?" He's like, "What you could do is this."
I think it's absolutely brilliant that over the last, handful of years, Filoni has kind of quietly just been restructuring, reunifying, and redefining what all these tales mean. When you look back at A New Hope, and Obi-Wan mentions, "I fought with your father in the Clone Wars," or whatever, your imagination is like, "Ooh, what are the Clone Wars?" And then, we had the prequel trilogy, which, however you feel about those, they are what they are. I prefer them over this last sequel trilogy, but not by a whole lot. But, George tried, he tried to hold on to his franchise, his baby. And, recently he went on record saying that he sold Star Wars because he felt it would be better for him and his life, his emotions, his family, the course of his life, to let it go and allow for people like Favreau and Filoni who are invested in a near spiritual and religious way to these universe, these characters and everything. And Favreau is just that quality storyteller who's powerful in Hollywood. He launched the MCU essentially with Kevin Feige. And now he's taking the reins of Star Wars. Probably saved Kathleen Kennedy's career, and they've respectfully just kind of like, JJ, Ryan Johnson, all these guys. You guys are over here, no big deal. But they're really making waves, and it's just completely making me forget that last sequel trilogy. And it's a very good thing.
So a good friend of mine out here in Seattle was like, "Dude, what I really wanted," because we were speculating who Grogu could be talking to, and I mentioned Cal Vestis from because he is an actor, he is in a Star Wars game. You could tie him into it. He's not gonna. This is the last season of Shameless, so he's not gonna have that on his plate anymore. So a lot of things could key to him coming into this universe, which. That game's okay. I liked. I'll play any Star Wars game that has me as a Jedi. I know you did.
About this earlier with my brothers. I tried with Fallen Order. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love lightsabers and shit, but I'm not a fan of the Soulsborne games.
They're not for everyone.
That kind of game. I'm not a fan of respawning enemies. I mean, come on. I have to go backtracking back and forth these things, and there's death troopers everywhere, and they're impossible to beat. I put it on easy. I don't play games on easy. That makes me feel bad. But I was doing.
I had to put it on easy at the very end for the very last boss. I got through it all, but I was like, I can't do this. I just need to finish this fucking game.
Yeah, I got to the 1 second sister, who I thought she was a really cool character and a fun boss fight. The first time you meet her or whatever. And that character, Cal Kestis, I'm into that. I like that actor. I think it would be great to see him turn up in the live action. And I don't need to play any EA Star Wars games. I'm sorry. I'll play some Battlefront if you want to get down. I don't own it. I'd have to show up to your house. Not happening anytime soon.
That's a Patreon exclusive for Stefan to show up at your house. It's $10, but he'll show up.
Yeah, I will show up. But
have food, snacks.
I'm not a fan of what they're doing with the Star Wars games anyway. Just wanted to throw that in there. But yes, it would be awesome to see Cal Kestis come in. And I like his little droid, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, he was just saying that he would really like to see Filoni usher in this new trilogy because he has more work to do now. Yeah. So it's what he did with the Clone Wars series, which for me brought me back to my fandom of Star Wars. After the prequels, it's I don't give a fuck, man. I didn't like these movies. And then I think maybe you or someone else was like, you need to watch the cartoon. And I was like, cartoons? That's for children. And I said, then I watched it and I go, well, I guess I'm a little kid still because this is amazing.
That's right.
And
That's the big aspect of why Star Wars is good, in my opinion, right now is, every Friday watching Mandalorian or watching some Rebels or something. I'm 9 years old again. And, I got responsibilities. I got to be an adult here and there, but don't ever lose that.
I don't want to be.
Child, man. Don't ever lose that inner child, or the things that capture your imagination and stoke the fire of what that child is, because it's rewarding, in my opinion. And Star Wars, that's my shit. That's why I have, traditionally been so upset when one of these is just either not that good or really bad.
Yeah.
I get so upset. I don't agree with 100% of what they did in Rise of Skywalker. Every frame of that movie is wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, let's move on to our next trailer.
Yeah, I was like,
you get me talking
this
Star
good. This,
Wars.
yeah, I know.
So this is a first look and teaser for for one of the next feature-length Star Wars films. I don't want to say too much for you, Maddie, but let me cue it up here. Boom, bada bing, bada
This
bing,
is a
bing.
film and not a television
Yeah,
series.
this will be a film.
They're
This
already
is
jumping
coming.
back into this. I don't know.
Here we go.
Oh, pilots. Ugh. Where's my Jedi's?
How did you yourself?
I love to move fast and speed of any kind. I think that that's because I grew up the daughter of a great fighter pilot, and every day I would wake up and go outside and look up, see my father and his squadron taking off and their F-4s roaring across the sky, and it was the most thrilling thing still I've experienced in my entire life. So when he lost his life in service to this country, it ignited a desire in me to turn all of that tragedy and thrill into one day making the greatest fighter pilot movie of all time.
Down for that.
But try as I might and look as I did, I couldn't find the right story ever. I kept looking and looking.
Top
but
Gun
I
didn't
just
do
couldn't
it for
find
her.
the right one until now. Now I found a movie about two things I love. So I'm going to see you very soon.
Wolfie the Red Leader, take my money.
Dude, it showed me nothing about that movie except a Star Wars helmet and an X-Wing, and I was sold. I was like, whatever, I don't care. She could be the only one in this movie just talking to me about her dad dying in service and flying an X-Wing, and I'd be like, this movie's fucking awesome.
Up, and then you see the fucking
yeah,
for sure.
You're like, oh, she loves Star Wars and fighter pilots. Oh.
Yeah, just imagine, like the new, what is it, a Rogue Squadron, the new game coming out by EA?
Yeah, it's already out. My roomie has it, and he has VR.
Yeah, that shit
And
does look
I
good.
just don't like fighter pilot
shit on-
games.
Yeah, I love that kind of shit. I like the only thing I ever wanted was my own ship, preferably being my own crew, but I could take a fighter. But what we'll be seeing on screen, is these images, these dogfights and stuff that, we've seen some of that, and the tech is there now to really ramp all that up. And so we'll see those big freighter cruiser things and all these little ships fighting and TIE fighters exploding, and I just can't get enough of that. And Patty Jenkins, she's fantastic. She's quite foxy in that trailer, if I can say so. But I'm super excited. I love the first Wonder Woman movie. I can't wait to see Wonder Woman 84 and Star Wars movie. Rogue Squadron. Let's do it.
I mean, what's the cast? Who's in it? I mean, I love any kind of story, and it's set in the Star Wars universe, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And that's what's going to be really cool too, is already we're sold on it, but who they going to cast, and once we get to put faces to the film and see it build, it'll be really nice, because right now it's just her selling us on the idea, playing on our imaginations of what it's going to be or what it could be. But then once we start seeing more imagery, it's the Star Wars universe. So the second you start seeing lived in familiar worlds and cities and planets and things, it just gets me so excited. It sparks in me the drive that has gotten me into filmmaking and content creation and everything and art in of itself. So, you know,
I only have one request. I just need Appa to show up. He's from Kim's Convenience. He's been in the last couple of episodes of Mandalorian. That's my only request. I love that actor. Kim's Convenience is a great show. Yeah. It's on Netflix, Canadian. Watch it.
Watch that.
It's
all right.
It's very fun.
Sold. Yeah, he's great as actually the pilots. They're kind of like the
Dave Filoni's the other one. They're like,
yeah.
Dave, we just need you to nod over here. Please don't speak. You're no actor.
Yeah, those guys are great. I especially love that about Mandalorian, which we'll talk about more about that a little bit later. But I like that vibe that they got, that they're kind of like New Republic cops essentially, and
yeah,
it sends the bounty hunter law line of law and lawlessness, makes it palpable and believable. Anyway, next up is another first look, official teaser for another Disney Plus series, another Disney Plus Star Wars series, by the name of Andor.
Think had a trailer for this shit yet? Oh, it's official trailer. Cool.
Ah.
Sold.
Right? Exactly what I mean.
Everything I did, I did for the rebellion.
Rogue One, in many ways, it's a film that connected new audiences with the oldest fans. It was a bittersweet feeling, in the premiere, knowing that it was just one film. But then magic happens, right?
As you can see, we're getting ready. We're building stages, we're rehearsing, we're training, we're trying costumes, we're doing everything to make sure we do the best show.
I'm really excited having the chance to explore Cassian. It's really fun to go on a set that is emulating something you like so much.
The enormity of this is like doing a big feature film.
It's very cinematic. For me, that's where the excitement is.
12 episodes, 12 scripts, over 200 named cast members, over 6,000 crowd people, a lot of creatures that come in from the creature department.
Dang, look, this was Creech.
Exactly like we would have filmed. There is no difference in our approach.
Every creature and droid that we've been building has the same care and level of attention to detail as the previous films.
It's huge, it's thrilling, but also it's wonderfully challenging.
There's tons of possibilities to explore. It is the building of a revolution.
And things so beautiful.
Dude, God.
That shit looks good.
Dude, it does. I never thought, like, out of Rogue One we would get any of those characters' stories.
Definitely could take Felicity Jones, but
doesn't make sense, man. He just meets her.
Yeah, but Cassian Andor, I didn't think I would care quite as much about Cassian Andor after the fact. You know what I mean, for this show. And I remember when it got announced, I'm like, I'm sure it's gonna be good. Of course, it's gonna be good. I mean, and at this time, we didn't even see any of Mandalorian yet when that was first announced. So now, just seeing the possibilities and the creative forces behind these shows. It's just like any frame, like you said, you see that first ship pass by in that strange world. It's just like, yes,
let's go there.
Even with the sequel trilogy, visually they got that well enough. You know what I mean? It was very compelling imagery. I'll give it that because it's Star Wars. But yeah, Andor looks like a solid TV show.
What are the who's Donnie Yen's character and that other dude? Why don't they get a show?
Chirrut Imwe,
yeah,
one with the Force is with me.
Yeah,
hell yeah. I sure hope we do get to see them in some capacity again. That's one of the good things about Star Wars and them sticking to this big drawn out canon continuity and everything, is that there are timelines that we could jump in and out of and still see adventures of those people. They could very well have their own series. They could very well, at least I think they already have their own comic book through Marvel At least Chirrut has maybe been his own issue. I don't know for sure. I'm just making that up right now, but
I'll believe it.
So, I mean, I think that's it for the Lucasfilm trailers as such. Forgive me if I'm missing anything. But what we do have, I'm just going to look at a little graphic here. We got an Obi-Wan Kenobi series that was announced. Ewan McGregor. We've known about that for quite a while now, but we're at least we see a logo, you know what I mean? And
no teaser. I know they're shooting that shit. I heard he was on the set of Mandalorian. Come on.
Yeah.
Give me a little something.
Exactly. So at the very least, Ewan McGregor's talking about it on interview shows. He was on Fallon talking about it a little bit. Or Tonight Show, or whatever the hell that's called nowadays. So super exciting, and that's going to be like a special event, limited run series. And not only that, they've announced that Hayden Christensen is back as
he's
Darth
Anakin.
Vader. Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan series, with Kathleen Kennedy stating that there's going to be the showdown of a lifetime, essentially.
What?
We got to see some of this in Rebels. We got to see a little bit of something, and Rogue One, we really got to see Vader throw down in his best Jason Voorhees impersonation at the end of Rogue One.
So good.
God, it was amazing. Such a startling moment. Anakin.
I didn't see it coming.
He's not all there. But
you
yeah,
are my brother.
We're gonna see a Disney Plus level, Mandalorian quality level Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader.
Dude, they need a Vader show, just like that comic series that Marvel had that just
bring Dr.
Everyone says is great. I think I read like the first volume and I was like, oh, this is sick. And it's just hard for me to keep up with comics these days.
Mm-hmm.
But
a long time ago, when the prequels were being made and Lucas was telling his producers and everything that he wanted to show Darth Vader as a kid, I forget who said it, but one of the producers or some of the executives or whatever is like, you're going to kill this franchise if you showed the most evil space sorcerer as a cute little kid. You can absolutely ruin it. However, through the comics and these, with people like Dave Filoni on the animated series and stuff, they have really drawn a really nice balance with Anakin. You love Anakin in the Clone Wars. I even love Hayden Christensen as Anakin in those movies, even though, whatever.
Not his best performance, that's for sure.
They did him kind of dirty. Lucas did him kind of dirty, but Lucas was getting tired. Maybe he was trying his best. I'll give him that. I believe in Lucas though, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see, even through these comic series, there's this still Vader isn't completely black and white evil. There's his entire arc is that he's conflicted constantly. That's been his whole character, is that he's been angry and done some horrible things, but there's still things that pull him back to, it's like the Return of the Jedi. I'll drop my phone.
I know, man.
It's like Return of the Jedi. There's still good in him. I know it, and they've really, like I said, Filoni and, some of the Marvel comics, really well-written comics. I've read quite a bit of them. I have read a majority of that Darth Vader series, up to issue 10 maybe. But they've done a good job of balancing that out. He isn't the most evil person in the galaxy. Obviously, we've seen many Moffs and Grand Admirals and just a bunch of jerks come out of the Empire. But, Vader's just powerful and he's angry, and you don't fuck with that. You just don't do it. So Obi-Wan, Anakin's back, Hayden's back, as Vader. It'll be interesting to see. Is he just going to be like, yeah, I'm Hayden Christensen in the armor, and then we're going to get James Earl Jones doing the voice again? It's really hard to imagine Vader without James Earl Jones's voice, but
yeah,
I don't know. You can't really do it about it.
Well, I'm sure Filoni has a good idea, and they've ran a lot of stuff past him, and they have a good. They wouldn't bring him back if it wasn't worth it. Right. I don't think it'd be I don't want to see Vader if he's not gonna be Vader, in a Kenobi. Right. It'd be cool if he does take off his helmet and we have a fucked up Christensen under there, and then we get to hear him talk the way Vader would or the way Anakin sounded ish.
Right. Yeah.
But then he puts the helmet on, and it, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be cool if we got more like helmet off, scarred up Anakin and getting some real like.
Look what you did to me.
Coming through there, yeah, exactly. Just like there's a hatred there for sure. Between him and Obi-Wan and.
Yeah, I wonder what with Vader showing up and knowing that's a thing that's going to happen in Kenobi, it's going to be interesting to see what like Kenobi's journey is through this miniseries. Yeah. Is Andor supposed to be just like, it seemed like it was just like a 10 episode?
I imagine that one's planned to be more long running, like The Mandalorian. I would hope so. I know
they just said 10 episodes, 10 different directors. So I was wondering if it was just like a 10 episode limited series kind of thing. I mean, I'll watch it if they do more. Just
perhaps it is crafted that way in case it doesn't pull the ratings like Mandalorian has, and they're just like, well, there was your Andor show. You got a little bit more of him, and it was great. So we're gonna move on to this other thing, which I wouldn't be sad about, but it would also be great to see a continuation of that character and just more of that shit. And Tony Gilroy is back as showrunner. He was pulled in as the director. He was pulled in silently as the director to kind of make sense of what ultimately didn't end up being the Rogue One that we got, the good version. It seemed to have a lot of problems in production at a certain point, and so Tony Gilroy came in, and he's the guy who wasn't really the Star Wars fan, but he's just a quality storyteller.
Yeah.
Correcting the course of what he perceived as being just a war movie, like a dramatic war film. So that worked out in its favor. Sometimes it's good to have people who aren't so married to the content come in and address what will make the story the strongest. So he's a showrunner on the Andor show. So it's,
I feel like a movie just in general needs to have like a basis and like, here's your core story.
Right.
Now let's throw the Star Wars on top. It's not like
the core story is compelling.
Yeah, but it's not like throw all the Star Wars stuff in there and hope there's a story. It's like, give me intriguing characters that I'm going to care about for a 2-hour runtime, and then they just happen to be Star Wars people, or Vader's going to show up at the end of it and kill everyone. I'm like, oh my god.
Right, for sure. So we're kind of pushing our hour mark. I mean, we could stay on all night. It doesn't really even fucking matter. But for sake of some brevity and wrapping up the episode, I'll just run down a couple more things that Lucasfilm has going. They have a show called, I'm assuming a show called Rangers of the New Republic coming out. Don't know what that's about, but we're going to start to see more of this New Republic as it's been established. They're going to have an Ahsoka Disney Plus series with Rosario Dawson. She is fantastic. I absolutely can't wait for that. That's gonna be amazing. We also have a show called Acolyte, which is gonna be more, I think, about the kind of Sith. It's gonna be more about like the Sith, the darker tales and the dark side.
Give me a Darth Bane series. Give me a Darth Bane series. Tell me about the Rule of Two.
I'm wondering if Acolyte isn't going to have Asajj Ventress in it. I love Asajj Ventress. Or some of these darker characters, we got to see Quinlan Vos in Clone Wars, which was really cool. He's one of my favorites because I always thought I looked like him when I had my long hair. He's a badass. And he was always like drawn between the light and the dark side. But also from Lucasfilm, we have the final Indiana Jones movie, which is just called Indiana Jones thus far, and probably... when it comes out. Back to Star Wars, there's also going to be a Lando series by the creator of Dear White People.
Is it going to have Donald Glover in it?
I'm not expressly sure. I imagine so. I imagine that's going to be a Donald Glover series to keep it fresh.
He was good. He was good as Lando.
I like Billy D. Williams, but I'm not sure at this age that he can carry the weight of a Disney Plus series. So more than likely, yes, it's Donald Glover.
They could recast him too if he doesn't want to do it. I mean, it's not. I don't think we're getting another solo film. So,
right, yeah. So yeah, there's a couple other things, a couple other shows. Star Wars Visions, which is going to be like shorts from different directors, and one called A Droid Show. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming. I wanted to just do a real quick reading of the just a bunch of other stuff that we failed to talk about because we were gushing over Star Wars and watching these trailers.
Shouldn't even talked about Marvel. Should have just been about Star Wars.
I mean, we could obviously have broken it up or something, but we just wanted to jump on as much of this as we could right away before, the whole rest of the internet. I mean, these guys, these YouTubers, they're quick, but they're probably getting paid for what they do as of yet. And so right now, we still got to work and got to figure out a way to keep the lights on. Speaking of which, if you like our content, go to patreon.com/overlycritical movie club and throw us some ducats if you feel like supporting us. There'll be more content. We'll start getting more exclusive content for people who want to do paid memberships through our Patreon as we go. Right now, we're just kind of having fun and trying to figure out how to make the most of this platform. And also, if you want to see some of our merch for the Overly Critical Movie Club, go to tpublic.com/overlycriticalmovieclub. And let me see, I just found, I wanted to read a whole list off of a bunch of other stuff, but I'll just try and say the ones that I'm excited about. On the Disney side, there's a bunch of new kids movies and spin-off shows and stuff like that, but there's going to be a Buzz Lightyear movie by Pixar. And this is a little different than what you may expect. It's going to be, they showed one frame of what the animation's going to look like, and it's going to be more on that kind of heightened, dare I say, adultish detail, somewhat like we were talking with the Bad Batch. It's going to be, and Chris Evans is playing Buzz Lightyear, not Tim Allen. So what the premise is that this is the character Buzz Lightyear and his story and his universe that the toy version that Tim Allen plays in Toy Story is based off of. So what we're going to be seeing is essentially like, like maybe like a young adult or like, that age group of where you're starting to be able to watch like more action-packed stuff. But it looks like Pixar's gonna throw a nice action-packed spacefaring Buzz Lightyear film our way. I'm super excited about that. I think that's such a great idea. The still that they showed looks really amazing. What else? You got a Willow series coming out, which could be really cool. I love Willow. Not sure how they're gonna handle some of the characters. Mad Mardigan's one of my dudes. It was a world that I always really liked, so I'm pretty excited for that. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. There's a ton of stuff that they let loose. I'd like to cover it all in depth, and I'm sure we'll talk about more of that stuff as it comes along. But I'm getting a little tired. It's getting a little late. Thank you all for watching and joining us for this late surprise edition of the Overly Critical Movie Club. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
I mean, you got to talk about what you're excited about, and I'm going to have to go get away. I mean, it's in the Disney because they own it now, but Alien on FX, Hulu, Noah Hawley, Fargo, Legion. I never saw Lucy in the Sky. I heard it wasn't that good. I think it's on HBO Max now. Maybe I'll watch it, but I'm very excited to see what he has in store for us in the Alien universe. I just hope that it does have aliens in it, and it does, and he doesn't pull like a Prometheus. Right. I'm not saying I need an Alien movie again or aliens. I just hope that the xenomorph does make its appearance, and there are different kinds of xenomorphs possibly. I don't know. I'm stoked. I figured they were going to announce something with one of those properties, and I know like Predator is getting the 10 Cloverfield Lane director, and I guess he's writing that too. So I'm stoked.
Dan Trachtenberg.
Yeah, so I'm stoked for that as well, and I'm glad they're like getting some quality people behind these franchises that to me have just kind of like. I mean, I don't know, man. I hate when I get online and people are like, another Alien movie. Let the franchise die, and I'm like, oh god, there's like there's thousands of comics and stories to like. Expand that universe and make it so much richer and like pull a Filoni on it, pull all these things together. Yeah. And I'm glad that some people are going to try to do it. So I'm stoked.
There's always a way, we love these characters for a reason. And it does suck when you get, like a film like The Predator and it's just like, doesn't meet expectations or isn't satisfying to the character or the franchise at all. So, but it's not going
bad.
anywhere.
I try to watch it.
And these filmmakers out here who are making all this good stuff, they're fans too. It's just I'm sure it's timing. I'm sure it's contracts. I'm sure it's money. I'm sure it's all these different things. But the coolest thing about movies in general and these kind of franchises and stuff is that, lightning strikes with these things, and you get great stuff like Rogue One and the first Predator.
Yeah. I'm stoked about it. I'm excited to see what
Noah
Disney wants
Hawley
to do with these properties.
Noah Hawley as showrunner, for those of you who don't know, you probably do, of course. If you're part of this group, you know everything, just like Maddie and I, as much as possible anyway. But he did Legion on FX, as well as Fargo, which was one of my top shows this year. And for the last few years, Fargo's been amazing. And whatever happens with it, it's in good hands. I believe that.
So I just want to say, I hope what they do with Alien is maybe do like what he's doing with Fargo. Like one season can be like more of a horror thing, like like Alien 1, and then season 2 could be a different take, different directors. I don't know. It just seems like you could do a lot in that universe.
Yeah.
And even tie in like some of the stuff from Prometheus too. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Predator crossover. I'm just saying, I got ideas. Hire me.
It's a brand new day for our stories and our franchises. I think what we went through in these later in the 2010s is a lot of trial and error, a lot of seeing if this works, what ideas work, and really the tech catching up to some of these things. Like, we really would not have the quality of Mandalorian if it wasn't for that stagecraft technology that they have. Those big LED sets that they have where they can put these really lavish, lush backgrounds and film right there. So that brings their costs down significantly to just have props and little set pieces and stuff. And it's just going to make these type of films easier to make, quicker to come out, and leave the creators to have much more power behind the storytelling. And much to like somebody like J.J. Abrams' credit or something like that. It's just, it's kind of what Lucas suffered with the prequels, as well, as he was really focusing on the digital technology of the time, which was still a lot of heavy lifting. And, even with the last sequel trilogy, they were still using like blue screens and green screens and figuring these way around these big set pieces and stuff. Not that they couldn't have done it, not that they couldn't do it, but now it seems to me like with where the technology is, it's just, we can work at the speed of thought, as Robert Rodriguez would say. And that boy brought us Boba Fett's hour of power, time to shine. So
yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'll leave you with. I don't really know what the context of that is, but
I will do that Mando wrap up soon.
If you want to make movies or anything nowadays, things are cheap, like mics and cameras and recording equipment. It's cheap. You can do whatever the hell you want. Take the power back. And this is the part where I rant about how corporations are evil. And no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I gotta go.
Yeah. But anyway.
But I agree with you. We're just gonna be here for 2 more hours.
Yeah. So that's the episode for tonight. Thank you for joining us for this live stream. For those 1 or 2 folks who hung on for the majority of the episode, it seems like, and the other people who popped in and out, thank you so much. If you're not part of the Overly Critical Movie Club as of yet, go to facebook.com/groups/Overly Critical Movie Club. Come join us. I post there pretty much all day. I love engaging with everybody. I love our community, and this is your show too. So, let us know if there's something you want us to talk about, you want us to look at, or whatever.
Or something we missed.
We were hoping to field a little bit of questions tonight, but there wasn't too much of that, which is fine, because we had to talk about these trailers, and it was really great to be able to watch them and talk about them. Oh, Meg, how are you? Good. I'm so glad you watched with us. This is awesome. We'll be back with more stuff like this. We have lots of stuff planned. It's really exciting, again, where the tech is now for us to be able to do this live, and me and Maddie got some stuff in store, I do believe, and I don't know. I'm Wolfie Cruz on Instagram, also Cruzco Comics, CRUZZCOCOMIX. I'll try and have that banner ready for the next one. But those are my Instagrams. Check me out. I got lots of stuff. I'd love to talk to you about everything. Anything you got, Maddie?
You just follow me on Instagram at Old Beardo, and that's all I have.
All right. Well, that's our show, folks. Wolfie signing off.
Bye-bye.